Of the 1,600 or so species of begonia distributed across the world's tropical and subtropical regions, 18 are native to Taiwan. This surprising diversity is enhanced by the fact that 14 of Taiwan's species are endemic. Renowned for its variation and beauty, begonia is named after Michel Begon, the French naturalist who pioneered studies on plants. Begonia also refers to a color near coral pink, reflecting that most species have pink blooms. What makes begonias special? What distinguishes begonias from the flowering crabapple, a plant that shares a similar Chinese name? Quite a bit, actually. Begonias are perennials of the Begoniaceae family that grow best in well-shaded, damp conditions. With relatively short stems, male and female flowers bud separately on the same plant. Some plants have erect shoots. Others also have rhizomes, and a few have stolons. Flowering crabapples are a decorative plant of the rose family Rosaceae. They can grow up to 8 meters tall and do best in sunny open areas, making them easy to distinguish from the begonias. The Chinese name for begonia includes the character for autumn. But do begonias blossom only in autumn? Not necessarily. Some burst into color as early as spring and continue blooming well into early winter. In northern Taiwan, Yangmingshan's protected environment makes it home to diverse wildlife. And a favorite haunt of weekend hikers. Formosa begonias, found in dense carpets along roadside slopes here, are distributed widely across central, northern, and eastern Taiwan. Thriving at elevations between 50 and 2,000 meters, Formosa begonias start flowering in March and don't quit until December. These long bloomers are often the first begonias known to nature lovers. Formosa begonias are incredibly diverse. The leaves of some are irregularly incised. Some have shallow incisions. Still others, known as white mottled Formosa begonias, have white flecks on their leaves. Such variety makes it more difficult to identify in the fields. Taipei begonia, a species akin to Formosa begonia, grows on slopeland in Shiger, a Taipei suburb. The two are often found interspersed together. While leaf incisions are less pronounced and the tip points longer on Taipei begonia, the fruit and flowers of the two are nearly identical. Taipei begonia is a natural hybrid of Formosa and Aptera begonias. The latter is relatively tall, growing up to 2 meters with a sturdy shoot. It is the only begonia native to Taiwan that produces hard berries rather than winged seed pods that become dry and dehiscent. Aptera begonias can be seen throughout the northern half of Taiwan. Its snow-white flowers, triangular berry, and delicate appearance make it one of the most sought-after decorative begonia. May is when the indigenous Dawu of Orchid Island begins storing dried fish for the coming year. Those planning to build a new house or boat plant taro in anticipation of a celebratory feast at harvest time. The specks of white waving in the wind on Orchid Island slopes are Franch begonia blossoms. The species thrives as well on coastal flatlands and in caves. Its leaves are obliquely round, smooth-edged and thick. Its flowers are pinkish white. With relatively plain leaves and floral coloration, this plant has subtle aesthetic beauty. While native to Orchid Island, as shown in its Chinese common name, it is not endemic. Franch begonias are found from the southern Ryukyu Islands to Bataan Island in the northern Philippines. Every July, showers relieve the summer heat and humidity enveloping Pinglin. And moisture-rich air carpets the banks of Jingguoliao Stream in shades of emerald green. Against this verdant tapestry, Pinglin begonia blossoms stand out brilliantly. Pinglin begonia's oblong oval leaves are finely, almost imperceptibly serrated. The entire leaf, from stem to tip, is covered with fine hairs, which is a major feature of this species. Its distribution is very narrow. Pinglin begonia has not yet been found in the wild outside of Pinglin. The Dashuishan Forest Recreation Park in central Taiwan is a magnet for birdwatchers. The chilly, damp climate is perfect for begonias, including the Shito begonia. Which grows here in profusion astride the park's main entrance and along nearby slopes. Its leaves are slightly round with somewhat undulate margins. Its leaves are a bit larger than other begonias native to Taiwan, up to 40 centimeters in diameter when growing in fertile soils. Its leaves and flowers are hairless, except for certain populations growing in central Taiwan, which often have thin hairs on the petiole and reddish leaf veins on the back of the leaf. Taiwan begonia has the narrowest leaves of all native species. Its leaf surfaces often have white flecks, and the backs are reddish-purple. Its leaves can reach 12 centimeters in length and are less than 4 centimeters wide, which is significantly smaller compared to other native begonias. Its seed pods have short and pointed wings and contain 3 compartments. Taiwan begonia is found primarily in central and southern Taiwan, along roadsides and forest margins at elevations of 900 to 1500 meters. Lugu begonia comes into bloom at about the same time. Its deep green leaves occasionally show white flecks, with a backside of reddish-purple. Its leaves look like an oversized version of Taiwan begonias, reaching up to 40 centimeters long. leaf surfaces have a velvety texture. Under strong light or from various angles, epidermal hairs reflect a bluish aura. Begonia flower season reaches its crescendo after September, when Ravenii begonias take the spotlight. Clinging to steep rocky walls where larger plants would surely collapse, precariously perched Ravenii begonias erupt in pleasing pink blossoms. Its flower stalks, long and delicate, wave in the breeze. Its aesthetically three-winged seed pods enhancing the effect. Ravenii is the only begonia supported by stolons. This species can be recognized easily by its flowers. Both male and female flowers have just two tepals, the Ravenii begonia's trademark. Jojo Peak is a natural wonder of central Taiwan, created by the natural erosion of cobblestone layers. Stones piled into the eroded narrow valley over millennia have made this area its own microenvironment. Bufordii begonia thrive in moist shaded habitats along rock faces at 350 to 470 meter elevations. Its slightly thickened green leaves have nearly smooth margins. Leaves and stems are hairless, and leaf veins on the back are deep vermilion. Its flowers grow often directly from the rhizomes, with stubby, barely perceptible stems. Dadongshan Trail, traversing the verdant wilderness near Fanchihu, is fringed by clusters of Palmata begonia. Like their namesake, the leaves of Palmata begonia can split deeply, resembling a palm-shaped leaf. The surface of leaves is covered with velvety rust-colored hairs and also rusty lines along margins. Palmata begonia is also called Luanda begonia. The margin of its flower tepals are irregularly shaped, giving flowers a lace-like appearance, further enhanced by its semi-opaque texture. Afternoon fog slowly draws a blanket over Dahanshan Trail. Austro-Taiwanensis begonia's pink blossoms float like a dream in the mist, naturally drawing the attention of passers-by. Its leaves are coated with long epidermal hairs, with the base of leaf veins colored a deep forest green. The leaves of some plants are split. Its female flowers typically have 3 tepals, short of a quartet on one side or the other. The wings of seed pods are elongated, the longest of any begonia native to Taiwan. Walking further up the Dahanshan Trail, we arrive at the Qinshuiying Trailhead. This area is covered in Tungzhi begonia, a species found only in Kaohsiung and Pingtung counties in southern Taiwan, between 1550 and 1800 meter elevations. Compared to Shito begonia, its leaves are smaller. Also, Tungzhi begonia is the only begonia species on Taiwan to feature a pair of bracts in the female flower. Wutai in Pingdong County is an indigenous Lukai village that was hit hard in 2009 flooding and remains vulnerable during heavy rains. The village is the namesake of the Taiwan Begonia, located on roadside slopes in the district. Like the Lugu begonia, some Taiwan begonias have leaves with white flecks. The two can be distinguished by examining the backs of leaves. Which are purplish red in Lugu begonia and green in Taiwan begonias. Taiwan begonias also have a more southern distribution in Jiayi, Kaohsiung, and Pingdong counties. Chuyuanshan begonias also resemble Taiwan begonias. While the leaves are effectively indistinguishable from each other, the Taiwan begonia has 2 compartments in its seed pod, while the Chuyuanshan begonia has 3. Hiking further up toward the Beidawu mountain trailhead reveals patches of Taiwan and Palmata begonias at the edge of forests, as well as their natural hybrid, Buimontanna begonia. Its leaves have a thick coat of fine hair, with leaf veins in deep vermilion on the back. Characteristics blend those of its 2 progenitor species. But it is only female Buimontanna plants that flower. Males wither before blossoming. And without pollen, with no seeds, how does this species proliferate? Asexual reproduction is the answer. Fertile soil is all it takes for a Buimontanna stem or even a broken petiole to sprout roots and grow into an entirely new plant. Even without seeds, this species is able to propagate itself into large populations. Flower season attracts a procession of insects to both male and female begonias. The pollen they carry makes them irreplaceable matchmakers. Most flowers in nature have both male and female components. However, begonias are either one or the other, making insects all the more important as pollen transmitters. Pollination allows seeds to mature, which seed pods then release to complete the reproductive mission. However, hybrid begonias use other reproductive strategies to overcome natural limitations. The survival of hybrids depends on time and space, as they must gain a foothold amidst their progenitor species and succeed despite overlapping flower seasons. So if you find the hybrid Nanto begonia, take heart that its progenitors, Shito and Palmata begonias, cannot be far distant. The situation is similar for hybrid Taipei begonias and Zhongyai begonias. Genetic recombinations and natural selection are the engine of diversity, and that continues to drive evolution forward. The diversity embodied in begonia leaves and flowers make them a favorite with flower enthusiasts. Easy to care for given adequate light and moisture, begonias have enjoyed stellar commercial success as ornamentals. While Taiwan landscapers make widespread use of introduced exotic begonia species, the potential for native begonias and their unpretentious aesthetics deserves greater attention. Landscaping that employs Chinese and Japanese aesthetics frequently uses Formosa begonias to both strike a balance with hardwood and stone lines and enliven small corner spaces. Native begonias are also perfect choices to green up office spaces. Potted Ravenii begonia is perfect for both dark and light interior rooms, imparting an unquestionably elegant air. As roadside slopes represent a natural habitat for most native begonias, it is only natural they be selected for beautification work. They promote the conservation of native species while beautifying Taiwan's public roadways. Apart from their use in landscaping, on Orchid Island, indigenous Dawu consume the leaves of Phoenesis begonias as food. When working in the hills, islanders eat moisture-laden begonia leaves raw with a little bit of salt. The leaves are tangy and help quench thirst. While the Dawu consider the leaves edible, they avoid the flowers, the consumption of which is said to cause deafness. Allowed to pollinate and seed, begonias represent a sustainable source of nutrition for Orchid Island's people. Taiwan's indigenous peoples offer many examples of how to protect and sustain our natural resources. When compared to modern man's large-scale exploitation and destruction of ecosystems and resources, such examples deserve not only admiration, but imitation and propagation.